Alright guys, we're going to be going over my two plays real quickly. So today we took a total of two plays. And yeah, they went both over 100 plus. So I kind of just want to show you guys my analysis a little bit, just to help you guys out on why I took these plays and how I caught them. So let's get into it. Okay, so Aapl, this was my first call out. It was about 15 minutes into the market. I know you guys know that we had news, kind of gave us that little boost up too. So, okay, so if you look at Aapl from the bigger time frame perspective, what did it do here? It gave me my strategy. As you guys know, my strategy is the inside strategy. Basically, what I like to do is mark the high and the low of the mother candle, and that would initially be my entry for either direction, right? So Aapl, as you guys can see here, has this inside candle. I marked the high and the low. Now I was obviously bullish on Aapl just because it's in a major uptrend, and it's strong, right? So how I would mark my TPs as well, right? Let's ignore this. Let's ignore the breakout. So for instance, just ignore these two candles and let's just say we just have this, right? So my first TP would be these previous highs, which would be 218.99 and then 220.17, right? This is also my 4-hour break of structure. If you guys don't know a little bit about structure, break of structure is initially when the market just continues to do what it has to do, whether if it's in an uptrend or downtrend. So it's just basically continuation of the trend, right? So like for example here on Aapl on the bigger time frame, it's in a clear uptrend, right? It's because it's making a previous of higher highs and higher lows, and all right here is doing is breaking this high to continue to possibly make new all-time highs. So let's go to the smaller time frame. Let's go to the 15-minute. Now, as you start to backtest this strategy a little bit more, you start to maybe want to get an early entry, which is what I did exactly on this play. So if you look at the 5-minute, I entered calls at 217.31, which is not a major difference of my 217.51, but still guys, sometimes this could kind of backfire a little bit, because if you just don't wait for your entry, then it could, worst case scenario is it could reject and, obviously make you negative, right? So what I recommend if you're going to do this strategy is on the 5-minute time frame is always wait for that candle close. Always wait for that 5-minute candle close above my 4-hour inside high, right? 217.51. So this would be your entry, right? For safe entry with the candle close above. So what I did here on the bigger time frame, I was comfortable in entering a little bit early just because I seen that on the 15-minute, all Aapl did right here was bounce off this 9 EMAs, right? So from a smaller time frame perspective, I got filled here, right? My stop loss was down here just in case it didn't want to hold these EMAs, because obviously if it doesn't hold these EMAs, then you don't want to be in calls. So we took this breakout right here, a little bit risky because our initial entry would have been right here if you want to take the full breakout, or right here to be safe on the candle close above. So I entered here, and yeah, it started to go. Like I said, these blue lines are just previous highs on the bigger time frame, and yeah, it gave us our exact TPs, which was 218.99 and 220.17. Now, as you guys can see on the 15-minute, held these EMAs perfectly. And yeah, even at the end of the day, held EMAs as well still, and it eventually broke this structure, right? So I'm obviously still bullish on Aapl. I think it's going to make new all-time highs soon, just because it's playing around this break of structure here. And yeah, once it stops consolidating a little bit, we'll get that huge breakout and then obviously make new all-time highs. So yeah, that's basically how I took Aapl this morning. And yeah, we were able to catch 137%. And yeah, it was a good play. So let's head into AMD. So AMD was more of a like after lunch play. I think I signaled this play around, right after lunch around 1 p.m. around that time, right? So from an AMD perspective on the bigger time frame, guys, because you always want to see the bigger picture. I see AMD is flagging here, right? If you look at the 4 hour, which I'm always going to be looking at 4 hour dailies because I love to take those dailies and 4 hour inside candle breakthroughs, right? So you guys can see, what did it do? It gave me my strategy here. Obviously, if you were to take puts, it would have to break below 153.68, right? But in this case, it actually broke above 161.51. And yeah, as you guys can see on the bigger time frame, it was holding up EMAs as well. It's just starting to get above it. Now let's go look at it from the 15-minute perspective. So from the 15-minute perspective, all I did, I took entry right here at 161.14, which was high a day, right? So I took entry a little bit before my initial strategy entry, which would be a 5-minute candle close above 161.51. So if you were safe about it, this probably would have been your entry right here. As you guys can see, nothing's wrong with that. It's just the more experience you have with the strat, maybe you could take an earlier entry, right? Nothing's wrong with that. But this would have been the safe entry. I took calls right here at high a day. Now for this perspective of an analyst, and not analysis, as you guys can see, it broke high a day, did this perfect retest off high a day, and then eventually broke that 4 hour inside, which would be your initial entry up here, held above, and you could have caught this big move above. Now I did have this TP of 162.76 because that was a daily resistance level, just in case it wanted to reject. I would know why, but as you guys can see, we had a strong push through. And yeah, I decided to take full profits up here at 163.86, just because this is my daily break of structure zone on the bigger time frame. So I am most definitely looking at calls above 166.83 for that 173-ish level, right? But yeah, this is how I took AMD as well. This was a nice play. This play exactly the same as Apple. We almost got stopped out. Stop loss was on point on both time frames. So yeah.